So our gospel passage this weekend is taken from the same passage in John's gospel. It's called the Last Supper Discourse. And this is the third weekend in a row that we've heard this, the Last Supper Discourse. It started 2 weekends ago when we heard Jesus say, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You have faith in God, have faith also in me." And then we hear this weekend the end of this Last Supper Discourse. It's a prayer that Jesus has to the Father. And I was just really struck by that this week as I was praying over this text, and I was thinking about, I wonder what it would be like. So later on after this passage here, there's a little bit more. It doesn't include the entire prayer that Jesus prays. And so what would it be like, God bless you, what would it be like if I could witness a father saying that prayer that Jesus said to his father, a father saying that to his children? That's what I was trying to envision in my mind, because I think it's pretty well known that women kind of have been leading the way spiritually, right? There's studies that have shown that Mother's Day cards, if they set out piles of Mother's Day cards, they're all picked up and used. And on Father's Day, none. I think that is evidence, right? How we need to encourage fathers to take a more active role in praying for their children and praying with their children. So I was thinking about that. And then I got to thinking, it's like, well, I did invite Joe to bring his boys here this weekend. So I put him on the spot. When he came here to church, I asked him if he would do this. And so, Joe, can we witness you taking parts of this prayer that Jesus gives to the Father? Can I ask you to pray that prayer with your sons at this time?
I would love to. When I was with them, I protected them in your name that you gave me, and I guarded them. I speak this in the world so that they may share my joy completely. I gave them your word, and the world hated them, because they do not belong to the world any more than I belong to the world. I do not ask that you take them out of the world, but that you keep them from the evil one. Consecrate them in the truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, so I sent them into the world. And I consecrate myself for them, so that they also may be consecrated in truth. I pray not only for them, but also for those who believe in Jesus through their word.
Thank you, Joe. There were some really powerful words in that prayer that if all fathers would just go to this, it's the 17th chapter of John's Gospel, and just maybe enter into that and see how you might be able to model yourself after that. In the section that we had, it's all about Jesus wanting his disciples. He's praying to the Father this great desire that they are with him and that connection is always there. That's the same prayer that he has for all of us as well. But for fathers then to go ahead and give that example also of that they desire to lay down their life for their children. And I know, Joe, you would do that. Without a doubt, I know you would do that. I know that you strive to be a man of the Word of God yourself. You try to instill your children with that Word. So that's why it wasn't a stretch for me to ask you to read this, because I know that you already strive to do that. it's my hope and it's my prayer that more people, women and men, will continue to strive to do this, to pass on this faith with their children, to take a more active role. After all, he said that it's his desire that he's not only praying for them, but it's for all of those who will come to know the Father through their word. It speaks about how important it is to pass this on. That it's not just those early disciples, but they had to pass it on. And then the people that they passed it on to, they had to pass it on. All the way down to us. If we are going to continue to keep this faith alive and well, we have to see that it's our role now. All of us. Not just me, not just the people that wear crazy outfits and stand up in front of people, but it's all of us who are called to keep this faith alive and share it with others. So let us this week, as we continue to move closer to the end of our Easter season, the great 50-day celebration of Pentecost, let us recognize that the birth of the church that happened at that very first Pentecost, it's up to us to keep it alive, to keep it going forward by doing our part in sharing the word with others.